great. Yeah, like you said, who else can do it like that on YouTube, man?
Anybody can do it like that. I don't care who you are, how many followers you got. You ain't gonna call nobody, and they're gonna answer the phone. Okay, they're gonna answer the phone.
Facts. Yep. All
right.
Well, we're halfway through. I'm gonna remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. You see what you got just a glimpse of what you get on this channel. And if you like that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and please tell a friend, share the show, check out some of our archives. We have some really great interviews right here on this channel, N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. I'm Dusty Vision. That is my dude, Alonzo Williams. You want to keep it pushing, Lonzo, or did our other, because that wasn't even our special guest. That was just a surprise.
That was just a dial-up, just to check. Make sure he all right for his birthday. Before we do that, we got to show Marlon some love, man. Marlon dropped something in the
Yeah, thank you, Marlon, for dropping that 1999, man. Really appreciate you. Much love. Hope you have a great time in Hawaii.
Must be. One of my boys called me from Jamaica today. Marlon finna go to Hawaii. I got to go someplace.
Man. Yeah. Have you ever been overseas, Lance?
Oh yeah, I've been to England. I haven't been. I've been all around the world. Yeah, back in the day, man. I haven't done anything in a while. I was just talking about that today. I hadn't been any.
I met recently. Yeah.
Not lately, no. But I got a fresh passport. Ain't got a stamp in it nowhere. But I'm gonna fix that shortly. Give me some time.
Do that. Let's continue. And let's keep it pushing, man. So yes, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. You got to tell us about the performing for Church and Chicken grand openings. I don't think we ever heard that.
Man, back in the day, working with KDAY, dude, we was KDAY's pets. I mean, we was just the homies. Whenever they had anything going on, a grocery store opening up. We opened up one time for the marathon and chicken spots, whatever KDAY was doing. Rory Kaufman was the community liaison for 1580 KDAY. Real cool brother. He's up in Sacramento now. He works for Congressman right now. And anything KDAY was promoting, they would bring us out and we do our show right there in the parking lot. They'd bring a little stage out. Most of the time, they bring out a stage and we do our shit, man. Surgery juice, and then we do all the noon dances. The KDAY had a big, teen following, so we do all the noon dances, and between me, Frost, Tony G, and sometimes the Dream Team, we'd all be out there doing our thing, man. And that's how they played our records. That was our payola.
Okay. Now you said I'm sorry, Frost mentioned Q103. You said you got to be in your 60s at least to know Q103. What can you tell us about Q103?
Q102, KUTE. It was the baddest station around for a long time. It was a FM. It was an FM station. It came out of on Riverside Drive in LA, but they played some of the best music, man. They played some of the best music. It wasn't a whole lot of hip hop, but if they had some hip hop, they would drop it. They had it just the vibe of the station, man, was super cool, Doc. Later we had KACE. That was KH. That was Willie Davis's station. That was housed out of Watts. Q102 went out real early. They went out in the early 80s, maybe like 81, 82. And dude, we was hurt because that station just had it was like KGL, it was like an R&B version of The Wave, but it was played the best, the Ashford and Simpson and the Motown stuff, the Tina Marie stuff, the stuff that just put you in a good mood, man. It was just a hell of a vibe. And I didn't buy any advertising from them. I was still dealing with KDAY because they was owned by the same. They were housed in the same studio as KGFJ, but they had a different signal. But it just was a super cool station, man. Like I said, KA's came in right behind them and kind of copied their same format. And then Willie Davis, somebody bought everything, the beer distributor, the radio station, and that vibe never really came back. They tried to pick it up with KGLH, but they kept dropping the ball. It just never came back again, man. And then the music changed. So everything just kind of changed it. But those two stations were probably some of the baddest stations we ever had. Because back then, the DJs played what they wanted to play for the most part. And that made a big difference because they weren't stuck to a prefabricated playlist that they have today. You only got so many records you can play in everyday part. You got so many records you can choose from. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you could grab the album and drop something on my album cover from Michael Henderson or somebody that, you know, that just was, they just set a vibe. They was programming. They were DJs back then were programmers. The program director was around, but the DJs programmed their own sets. That made a big difference.
Okay. Now, we've heard the name before on our show, but since Frost mentioned it, I figured I'd ask, tell us about Maury Alexander.
Maury Alexander was Jerry Heller's partner. Their company was called Alexander Heller. And Maury was notoriously known for getting that ass before he became the artist. They knew people. Etta James was the one that told me about Maury before I dealt with Jerry. Okay. She like, nah, he ain't the one. He gonna get you. And if Frost had stayed on the phone, he did tell you some stories between him, the Uzi brothers, and even Booyah Tribe. He didn't mess with the Booyah Tribe too much, far as what I understand. You ever see the Booyah Tribe?
Of course, not too many people mess with them.
Booyah Tribe, them some big sons of a guns, and they love some Wrecking Crew, man. They out of Carson, they love the Wrecking Crew, dude. We did a lot of shows with the Booyah Tribe, but Maury was notorious for getting money, and I'm gonna hold this money for you, and I'm gonna do this, and all of a sudden, you don't hear from him no more. I got a few stories between Frost, my boy Will Rock from the Uzi Brothers, not to mention I think even Mello had a couple of issues with Maury, but you know we're not going to dwell on the negative. He's gone now, but I was warned against dealing with him by Etta. I was warned against dealing with Jerry Heller because him and Maury was partners. She gave me one of her old sayings like, "If dogs live in the same house, they all got the same fleas." Okay.
Mixing shit up on.
Yeah.
Dogs of a feather flock, lay down.
Yeah. So that's why I chose to go with Maury. Maury also had LA Dream Team. That's why I went with Jerry. Because Jerry had the other half. He had Egyptian Lover. He had Egyptian Lover, Wrecking Crew, and he got Eazy Dre them. And so then Maury had the